City Morning Show.
Sugar City Morning Show, a most pleasant morning going out to all out there waking up this morning to this brand new beautiful morning, this brand new beautiful day today. It's Friday, folks, and it's the 29th day of May 2020. Wherever you may be, wherever you are, right here from the studio of North Television Channel 10, we send a special good morning to you. Welcome to the Sugar City Morning Show. My name is Robert Checker Usher, and this morning we want to send out a shout out to a special person here in Orange Walk, going out to Mr. Glenn Tillett, better known as Banja. Good morning, Banja, and happy birthday to you. Banja celebrates his birthday today in a very special way, home with the family. Also to Jer, all the way there in Waukegan. That's Waukegan, Illinois. That's Gerald Tillett, Jerry, birthday today as well. You know, I remember, I'm not sure if it was last year or year before when I sent greetings to Banja. He was there with Jerry having breakfast in Chicago. Today it's different because Banja is here and Jerry is there. But nevertheless, you know, they are great brothers. You know, that family is really good. Because, you know, like sometimes one time people that are states and so, like, they're not coming to correct, right? They're not coming to correct. But, they don't, like, really communicate. But, I say, like, people communicate one lot right there. So, when it comes to Banj and his family, you know, I see they stay in, you know, usual communication, which is good. So, Banj, happy birthday. Enjoy your birthday today. What? Barbecue? Chepe said that barbecue. And Chepe said got 4 plantain, boy. We could knock some fried green plantain and what police sardine pan the side. Something, no? But good morning once again. And good morning also to Jerry there in Chicago. And everyone else celebrating their birthday today. Good morning, Lupe Arjona. Good morning. Hoping you're doing fine. Have yourself a most blessed day there in San Esteban. Muy buenos días al Rey de la Selva. We want to say good morning to the Cocom family all the way there in Socots. Also to our friend Mr. Manzanero there in Belmopan, and everyone who always tune in. How are our friends doing at the top of the hill today? Good morning. Go ahead into San Esteban. Good morning to you all this morning. A lovely, beautiful morning. Lovely, beautiful Friday, folks. And today we'll be having Minister Aragon. We want to say good morning to Uncle Kirk there in beautiful Los Angeles. Good morning to Robert, Miss Olive, to Doc, to the rest of the crew, and also to Mark, to our friends there in Dallas, Erin, and the rest of the crew. Good morning, brother. We say good morning also to Greg in Chicago and Leroy there in New York. We say also good morning to Charlene and the crew there in Florida. Good morning, everybody. It's a wonderful, beautiful morning. It's a bright day, and let's get brighter with a special prayer this morning. Good morning, Delvi.
Good morning, Mr. Techie, and good morning to everyone listening.
Yes, what a beautiful morning.
Oh, yes. A lot cooler than the past couple of days, but it's a beautiful day today, thanks God.
Yep, and we'll be in the high 90s as well today, so we're going to get a lot of heat, and we understand rain is coming, but let's get blessed.
Okay. Before I do the prayer, just want to share a verse.
Sure.
Okay, from Psalms 121, verses 1 and 2, and it says, I will lift up my eyes to the hill, from whence come my help. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. Almighty and Heavenly Father, thank you once again for this day. Thank you for blessing us with another day, with another opportunity to be a part of the land of the living, Lord. And it is only from you, O Lord, that our help comes from. Today I just want to give you thanks, O Lord, for always being here. Thank you for being faithful to us, even though we are not always faithful. Thank you for covering us, Lord, even at times we want to run away from you. Thank you for being merciful to us, Lord, even though we don't deserve it. Thank you for your mercy and your grace, Lord. Thank you for your unconditional love. Lord, and as we come to the start of this day, I just pray, Lord, that you continue to shine down on us. Please continue to look over us, to guide us, to protect us, and may the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts be pleasing and acceptable in thy sight. I give you thanks for this day, Lord, and I just pray a special blessing upon every person who may be listening. In the mighty name of Christ Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. And as usual, we thank the good Lord for giving you that strength and blessing every day. And we thank you for sharing it with us as well.
To him be the glory.
Yeah, we understand that the rain will come, girl, Dev.
Well, at the start of the rainy season, well, almost when Monday is the 1st of June, right?
Right, that's when the hurricane season kick in.
Yeah, so we just have to keep our minds and everything open for, there are times just to look out for it and get prepared for it.
Right, and the rain have started already in the U.S., but closer to us in Guatemala, they get a lot of rain, big flooding. I understand one person lost his life as well in Guatemala.
Oh my.
Yes, after this big rain. So this big rain is coming. The corona is upon us and the rain is coming.
It's coming. But Mr. Checky, like we always talk about looking at the bright side of things, nothing with being naive or whatever. We already know what the situation is. We just try our part here, bro. We just try our best to do our parts to, make sure our families we got a preparedness plan as best as possible, and help others when we can help them, because every year we know we got hurricane season.
Yeah, that's true.
We have to try our best to our emergency fund or whatever the case may be as best as possible.
Yeah. And with all the different brothers and sisters, all the different pastors, the preachers, and all the different churches that we have here in our country. And when time hurricane come, many of these churches come together to do that special prayer. And if you can see, you can see sometime that hurricane is heading straight to Belize. Everybody don't spend their money, they don't get their plywood, they don't stack up, which is good, because they need to be prepared. But when the prayers go out strong, someone want to see the hurricane shift and it pass leave Belize and don't Belize nothing.
Yes. Because once God in our door, Mr. Checky,
the door in our sink.
The door in our sink.
Yeah.
Even if whole line of the door in our sink, God there with it, and that is just a faith that we need to hold on to. Amidst all the things where want all over,
Yeah.
I focused on him.
You see, yeah, and also this pandemic, we know, I think it was like 3 days ago that over 500 persons died in Mexico, and we are still blessed here and believe that there is no positive case right now. So we just want to ask people to continue praying and people should continue adhere to the rules and regulations, because we need to do that.
And the thing is that it's not only when disasters and pandemics come that, that God is ever faithful, with every day. So, that not only when we really go through a terrible situation, and it's a beautiful thing that everybody come together and pray. But even after this pass, and it will pass, that we still maintain that relationship with Him.
Yeah, true.
As just daily life, that not only when you see me, then you want to see me.
Yeah.
Every time, everything.
That's true. Because what happened in the big nation, that the U.S. right now, a lady was charged for allegedly killing her son. Shuba in a pan or a lake or something, and the little boy died. Then we have this one, I think it's in Minnesota or one other place, where some police, they're supposed to allegedly kill somebody, and then people riot. Whole night last night, they burned down a school, they burned down a building, we had a pawn shop, a radio station, and people just they riot over there right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's just so.
Trying times.
Trying times, and it will get a bit rough for Mr. Checky.
Yeah.
These are things written in the Bible.
Yeah.
There will be rumors of war and all of those stuff, so. We just have to hold on to our faith and share it while you can. Maybe somebody else catch on to it and,
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll reach to that bridge.
Okay. Well, thanks very much then, Delv, and we hope everything goes well for yourself and the family over this time, this pandemic will go through and this heavy rain that is expected over the weekend, no?
Well, God first, Mr. Checky, and I just pray all the same for yourself, your family, and, the entire nation, I believe. that we keep being our brother's keeper, because I believe we are truly blessed.
Okay.
Despite whatever.
All right. Well, have a good one then, all right?
Like you too.
Yeah. Also, folks, this morning want to say good morning to Mr. Michael Sabal, better known as Baba. Good morning to Baba. Here, Baba, they're on retirement right now. Okay. All right. So, as we continue right here this morning, also this morning, as we were greeting Mr. Glenn Tillett, better known as Banja, comes to you from your friend as well, your brother as well, Mr. Elito Rubina Jr., who's wishing you a happy birthday today, Ban. So, big up yourself today, you know. You know, I know you don't want to drink, you know, smoke and stuff, but you got your own way how you enjoy yourself, right? Just to cool off with your friends and listen to some nice music. And like we see Jerry all the way there in Waukegan is celebrating his birthday as well. Coming up this morning, we should have Minister Aragon on the show, but let's check in with the guys at the Belize Met Service to tell us about what's up with the weather for today, because everybody look out for this rain. Everybody get prepared. Like we mentioned when I had that conversation with Delvey, that in Guatemala, life already due to all the rain and the flooding. Mexico are embracing as well, and Mexico is in trying times because they are high when it comes to positive case of the COVID-19. We understand some new measures are set in place for Belize. There was a document circulating yesterday, but we understand that's not the official one. But the Prime Minister should speak today at 10 in the morning, and we will do our best to try to see if we can bring that to you as well. But perhaps when Minister come, if he can share some of that with us, or we will see if he will prefer to wait until the Prime Minister does his address. Okay, folks, let's check in with the Belize Met Service for today's weather forecast. The general situation, moist and unstable conditions persist over the area. The 24-hour forecast, cloudy with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms, especially over the south and inland areas. The winds are blowing east at 5 to 15 knots. The sea stayed choppy. As we take a look at the temperatures, temperature will rise from 31 Celsius in the coast to 87 Fahrenheit and 34 lows inland and 93 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going to be hot, 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 like Arrow say, feeling hot, hot, hot. And in the hills, it's 28 Celsius, 82 Fahrenheit. Tonight, the temperatures will not drop too low from where they are today. It's 27 Celsius in the coast and 80 Fahrenheit. And tonight inland it will be 72 and in the hills 70. So if you can see across the entire country it's going to be warm, but there is no advisories, watches and alerts. But you do your own thing. You know, if you're going to sea, if you're going with a dory, make sure you got your lead life vest. Make sure you check the engine good, the carburetor, no, the blop, blop, blop. You know, they mess up, because if they mess up, no man, it could go. So try to take precaution. The outlook, a few showers, isolated thunderstorms, and periods of rains will affect the country on Saturday, increasing on Saturday night. A low tide occurred this morning at 8:43, followed by a high at 2:39 this afternoon. Another low tide at 10:10 tonight, and a high tomorrow morning at 4:39. The sun was up bright and early before that away 5:17. That are right after the curfew, and it will set today at 6:23, and the moon will set this morning today at 12:32. Will rise today at 12:32 and set tomorrow morning at 12:32. So 12:32 and 12:32. That's your general weather forecast, brought to you by the Belize Met Service and certainly by your Universal Radio 88.5 FM. As we have greetings coming in, a lot of people they big up Banja today. Okay, morning. You just want to know if delivery of live chicken. Just want to know if delivery live in a chicken. Well, I don't really understand it. All right. So if you could please explain it a little bit so we can. I think they're asking if there will be delivery of live chicken. Just please give one a call back or a text, and then we will be sharing that with you so that we can understand. We'd like to say good morning to Mr. Eduardo Emmanuel Martinez, better known as Papa. Good morning, Papa. How things? How the sakpa? The sakpa done? I don't hear nothing about the sakpa, man. You bring the sakpa, you bring plum, you bring wire, and see in the vehicle, I see you cock up and work that super too. Well, good morning, Pa. Don't worry about it. I enjoy your sakpa, your super, and everything. Everything is fine. Folks will be taking a break. It's exactly 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. And when we come back, we will be joined by Minister Aragon right here on the Sugar City Morning Show.
John Briseno says government needs to trim the fat. Let's take a minute to look at that fact.
Johnny Briseno receives a salary of $60,000 from the government to be the leader of the opposition and $84,000 for sports and community projects in his constituency. The People's United Party representatives receive about $993,000 annually from government to assist residents of their constituencies.
Since the COVID-19 state of emergency, the Prime Minister of Belize has given all his salary toward the relief efforts. The UDP ministers has given up a month's salary and allowances going forward. Johnny Briseno has not agreed to give up anything. The PUP representatives have not agreed to give up anything.
Leadership is about action, not words.
Everybody wants a clean and healthy family. That's why they purchase the best food products and the cleansing materials. This time, we give you a bigger size of La Costeña products like the mouth-watering fried beans and the pasta sauce. And surely for your clean laundry, we have the breathtaking aroma of Ensueño Max Suavitel. Even your visitors will ask what you clean your floors and restrooms with. And you can boast it is the variety of Pinol products and Sultan muriatic acid now in 900 milliliters. And much more for the best prices only at German Vega and Sons Imports. We serve you at number 5 San Antonio Road, Orange Walk Town. You can even call us at 322-3625 or 322-2672. Or you can even send us a fax at 322-2571 or email us at germanvega@btl.net. German Vega and Sons Limited, because we care for you.
Have you ever noticed the development that's taking place in your town or in your city? Maybe it's because you've been too busy enjoying the results. More for Belizeans, more for Belize, the government of Belize, moving Belize forward. Our economy benefits when goods and mobile services get to their destination quickly. When citizens are able to travel without frustration and undue hurdles, everyone benefits as well. The government of Belize is happy to announce the imminent upgrades to the Carazal-Sartaneja Road. 27 miles of road will be upgraded to paved standards and will include the replacement of 2 ferries with new bridges.
Why is it that we're going to invest in Sartaneja? Why is it that we have to take $50 million to invest in an area where we do not have a political directorate? We believe that as a government, we have to provide a service to all Belizeans.
Well, this for the village of Shunosh is a big advantage both ways. Sometimes when we got sickness, we got people sick at the clinic there, women. When we reach at the ferry, can't pass, 45 minutes have to wait. So now this road will benefit whole village, Sartaneja and Kaparbank. I'm part of Progreso too. Well, it's really important for us.
I know that our village is not so much developed with tourism because it's a remote village. And for that reason, we don't have a lot of tourism over there. But now with this upgrading of the road and the pavement of the road, I think that, I believe and I think that it will be much beneficial for us and for everybody.
More for Belizeans, more for Belize, the government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Take a journey with us to endless possibilities. Our future as a country is now. DigiNet Boost is countrywide. Taking Belize into the future. A nationwide technological evolution. As the most advanced fiber connection, DigiNet Boost is a step forward into a modern world. Belize is powered by DigiNet. DigiNet Boost, now available countrywide.
Six cylinders to pure potential and better performance.
It looks like it vibrates. You think it could be the horsepower?
With a quart of oil and the calibration of the injectors, it will start to get the watchers again on the street.
We take a motor to its optimal level. We speak machine, Rush France, making the world function. Authorized agent, German Vega & Sons. Telephone number 322-3625. Email germanvega@btl.net.
Notice the residents of rural communities in Orange Walk and Corozal districts. If you value your health and your children's health, you will dispose of your garbage only at approved sites. The disposal of garbage at any other location is illegal, and if caught, you can be fined up to $5,000. If you don't get caught, you can still suffer health impacts caused by these illegal sites, because illegal dump sites harbor pests such as rodents, possums, and mosquitoes that carry diseases. These can transmit those diseases to you and your children. In addition, the garbage you throw away illegally can contaminate water bodies near your community, the same water bodies you might use for recreation or other purposes. Only with your help can the Department of Environment ensure that Belize's development is safe for present and future generations. You can also contact your local village councils or Belize Solid Waste Management Authority for more information. The Department of Environment thanks you for your help.
The San Ignacio-Santa Elena bypass project is now complete. The transformation began in 2012, and now residents of the Twin Towns and visitors alike are enjoying the end result. Works include the full pavement of Lamalus Boulevard, along with 2 miles of sidewalks and drainage, LED lighting, and a roundabout at the entrance of Santa Elena. The Twin Towns now boast the longest and widest bridge in Belize, immune to flooding from the occasional rise in water levels of the McCall River. A bypass road was also built linking the new bridge to Joseph Andrews Drive, which was rehabilitated, as well as 1 mile of pavement, a median, and 2 miles of sidewalks and drainage. This was all done to the tune of $34.8 million. But that's not all. The project was extended due to savings from the successful execution and implementation of the initial scope of works. Now over 2 miles of additional roadworks will commence, including George Price Avenue, Liberty Avenue, and the George Price Highway between Three Flags and Hawksworth Bridge. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show. It's now exactly 28 minutes after 7. Let's do this greeting before we start with the minister. Tobanja comes to you from his spats and all the guys who used to play on your football team, Nigeria, who won first place for the Mundialito. Also, man, this lady got a lot of things on his text here. 2 of the best defender, Calvin. Happy birthday to Banj. Minister, we say good morning to you.
Yes, man. Good morning. Good morning, Checky, and of course, good morning to all our radio listeners who are tuning into East Radio 104.9 FM, and of course to all those viewing us on their TV screens at home, no?
Right.
Here on Channel 10, I want to say a pleasant good morning, and it's a real pleasure to be here again, Checky.
Right.
I know we're supposed to be there Wednesday, but other things come up, no?
Right. Well, I apologize on your behalf, no?
No problem, but we're here today, and of course, we're here to discuss the issues, no? And
right.
Whatever issues might be there, and we are open for an open discussion.
Right.
So it's always glad to be here, Checky.
Right. So once again, morning and welcome.
Yes.
Yesterday we had Mr. Leiva from NEMO here on the show, and we were talking about the opening of the hurricane season. But if we are looking at the path of the weather right now in Guatemala, don't they have a lot of strong rain coming on? We know in the east we have a lot of people who live by the riverside, and so if this rain come and we might get some flooding, what's your concerns?
Well, last year, if you looked at what happened last year, we never get a lot of rain, and I do think that at this point in time, of course, every time it's from June
to November.
June to November, we have this hurricane season. That will be with us for a very, very long time, for many years to come. The important thing, I think, is for us to, one, be spared from a major hurricane. Because if we get hit with a major hurricane at this point in time,
wow,
especially where we stand in terms of government finances, etc., how the country is trying to reel itself out of this COVID scenario, I think it won't be good for us to have a major hurricane. So we are hoping and praying that we don't have. But apart from that, I think we must bear in mind that rain is always good for our farmers, I know last year we had little rain, and we could have seen the effects on our sugar crops and other crops out there. So, I think it's all about a balance, and I'm hoping that this year we get the rain where we need, I know the meteorological Weather Bureau, I think they had announced that we might have another drought this year.
Right, yeah.
So, I see how that plays out, but definitely I think that rain is always good, and especially how we have been getting the rain lately. I think, it assists tremendously for our farmers. But like I said, I don't know the weather. We just have to monitor it, and of course, especially down south, I remember 2 years I lived in the south, and I could tell you when it pour out there.
They get a lot of rain, no?
What? No joke.
Yeah.
So, but we are hoping for the best, and of course we have to always monitor these tropical depressions when they come around. But I think overall it's something where we have to live with.
Yeah. Last week Friday, the Commissioner of Police and the officer in charge of Northern Region and the officer in charge, along with other forces, visited San Victor Village, and they visited Santa Cruz as well. During this week, we have been receiving some texts that saying that persons are still going across. They're saying that they have a Mexican lady that lives there, but if she goes to Chetumal and come back, they say they have persons who bring in cargo like midnight at night. And these things are happening.
Well, Checky, the reality is that our borders are porous, especially when you look at, no matter where you are, whether it's on the seaside or on the land side, in terms of Mexico and Guatemala, we have porous borders. I think the whole intent of the commissioner going to these areas last week was to basically highlight to the public out there, listen, we need your cooperation. You have to do your part in terms of trying to understand the implications of bringing across COVID into Belize, Right now, you could say we don't have a case right now in this country, but that don't mean that it can't happen tomorrow, because by people going across the border, they put the entire nation at risk. And I think the commissioner going out there his intention was to, one, warn people in terms that, listen, this is the effect that could happen by your actions going across the border. Two, showing them the risk to the nation, showing the risk to themselves, because the police will be out there to enforce these things, and the military. But the fact is that you still have people who could care less, and people cross, and people not to think about the greater implications. And some of them might know about it, but they still don't care, and go cross to do the smuggling, etc., which puts everybody at risk. And I think that the commissioner's intention out there was to warn people, and the law will just have to come down hard on these people, because some people just not listen. Some people still carry on the contraband trade there, and that poses a serious health risk to the nation, and that, I think that is something that concerns everybody. But I mean, I think he was trying to reach out to people in that area, especially because, listen to me, the contraband not happen from somebody where they come from Belize City and thing. It has to come from people within those same neighborhoods who facilitate and assist in that to happen. So his intention in going out there was to really look at that situation and try to see how we can address it and maybe appeal to the public and the community in that area. To those people who have information and that of what is happening out there, I would ask them to call into the police station and give that information. Because it is important that the police know what is happening so they can look at it and see how they can respond to those situations. But like I said, Chekida was a sad situation because I mean the law enforcement is trying to do its part, but the community must also do its part. And it kind of hard because some community members might say, well, listen, I need for me quality money and this and that. But despite that, that is one, illegal in terms of the activity that is happening there. There's no official border there. So contraband has always been illegal. But like I said, I know the commissioner is out there trying, and at the end of the day, I know there's a zero tolerance for people who they caught contrabanding or coming across at the borders there, so that is the present situation.
What you say to persons that are doing big contrabands and going across, and if the police will catch them and say, man, I have to live, I just to try to live.
Yeah, but you can't, how I would put it this way, your well-being should never overstep the greater community of this country, It should never put the masses of this Belizean society at risk. And you going across, yes, whether you're hustling or you're contraband, whatever, but you're putting the nation at risk, man. You have to find something else for though, because at this point in time, you come across, you go across, catch a virus, you come in, you spread it to your family, you spread it to the whole community come the tongue, spread it to the whole tongue. Then we got outbreak, then one serious situation, we find yourself in. You could look at what is happening in Mexico. In still the great United States, there are already over 100,000 people who have passed away because of this COVID-19. And there are a lot more people that will die with this thing.
So what do you want to say to these persons, Minister, that are still doing it?
I can't tell them nothing much except for stop. They have to stop and see what else they do in the meantime, because at this point in time, they no might see the risk, but the risk is there. And the country knows that in terms of the law enforcement, etc. The commissioner took his time to go there to speak to these people, to talk and to the villagers and to ask them for their support.
Yeah, so with their cooperation, we're supposed to be better.
It's important, yeah.
We know in this pandemic thing, we have the oversight committee, we have the different task force, but we also have the cabinet that sends recommendation to these different committees. Any new measures coming out from cabinet? We know there was a circular yesterday. Can you expand a little bit on that? What will be freed up or how we're at, or you need to wait until the
No, I think the Prime Minister will be having his press conference today. And I think at that point he will highlight the way forward in terms of the lifting of some of these restrictions. And I think he will also talk about looking at the way forward in terms of the economy and things like that. But what I can say is that, yes, of course, at Cabinet we discuss some of the issues in terms of we might make some of the recommendations that goes to the National Oversight Committee, who basically have the final say in terms of what they would want to see, after which then that is disseminated to the public, to the general public. At this point in time, I think I saw on the news they had highlighted that some of the restrictions will be lifted in terms of restaurants, in terms of tacos vendors, and I know we've been fighting. I personally, you have the minister in Cayo has brought it up in cabinet, in terms of local vendors. You have these people who selling tacos. Some tacos place then they sell to go, while other tacos place can't sell because they don't have they're right in the public, in the open. So now these people, as far as I know, that should be lifted. And I think that is a great relief for the people in Orange Walk, and especially across this country, because when you look at people who selling their barbecue, the people who they sell their burritos, they leave fast food areas out there.
Yeah, and at Cayo they sell a lot of barbecue.
Of course, and I know that the minister there had brought it up likewise in support of that to reopen, and I support it fully because I think that a lot of our poor people are out there, and then people with the struggle day in, day out. But apart from them struggling for their own business, they are providing a service to the people who they get up early, they move fast, you know. A lot of our people are very productive, hardworking people, catching bus early in the morning. So like the tacos, etc., all of those things lend itself to how to people on the move. And so I think that I for one feel very glad to know that the taco stands will be able to sell, all small food vendors will be able to open. I think they'll put some kind of restrictions. Maybe they have to have nearly thing where people could wash their hands and things like that. Well, set up where they
and distancing as well, no?
Right. So I mean, in terms of that, I feel glad that that will open up again, because here in Oranjewak, I know that has affected a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad to hear that. Then, like I said, there's other restrictions. I think they're raising the number of people who will be able to attend church and things like that. Of course, all of it has to do with the social distancing rules, etc. No, but so there's a number of restrictions. I know the Prime Minister, if people can tune in,
10 o'clock
this morning at 10 o'clock, the Prime Minister will be giving his. He'll be on the press conference highlighting all these lifting of restrictions and the way forward. So, you know, I mean, but all of it spells out good news in terms that one, we are assured by the health officials right now there's no case. But again, like I said, we can't say that one case not pop up tomorrow here and there, because of some of the same things you've spoken about in terms of the people going across the border when they shouldn't, illegally and all these things, you know. And
so, Minister, but not to go too far. So, if this would happen again, and we are getting some of these relief right now, and other persons are allowed to come out and do their sales and different when it comes to the churches and the gatherings. So, if this thing there, contraband thing, start to continue, or other virus coming in the country, then we'll go right back to where we're at.
No, I wouldn't know. It all depends, you know, on the situation, because if you remember when we started to get one or two cases, the cases started to pop up. I think the health department did a very good in terms of response. You know, they responded quickly. They did
good
their
timing.
tracing, they quarantined whoever had to be quarantined, etc. And that to a large extent helped the situation. I don't think we want to go back there with all the measures in place and things. I don't think anybody wants to go back there. Right now, people need to work, people need to move. So my thing is that I'm hoping we don't ever have to go back there. But every situation dictates certain measures, you know. I mean, if you get a case and we can isolate a case, etc., then I don't see why would I go back. So, but if you get a case with it, and then it starts spread all about, and we don't have no control over this thing, of course, the government must put in measures to safeguard the safety of the greater population of this country. And I think that none of us, as far as I know, wants to go back there.
Yeah.
And so it is incumbent in all of us as a community to do our part. You know, people in the border areas need to know that, man, yeah, I could go back across again, eat only 20-pound flour, at least sakito, but why I going to risk the whole country for that? Buy it, yeah. You know.
Hello, good morning, Sugar City Morning Show.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
I have a question here for the minister. I read this week on a European-based credit group, Credenda, right? Credenda published an article on Belize stating that due to its vulnerability on the economy of Belize for the past couple of years, right? There is a possibility and there is a danger of not keeping up with the peg with the US dollar and a possible devaluation of our Belizean dollar. I read this article on the group is a European-based group by the name of Credenda. Probably you can find that article, Minister, and read the publication they did, right? They are claiming that Belize is in danger of having its dollar devalued because you cannot keep up with our economic standards, right? And too much credit for the past years, right? So I would advise you to read it, and it's a very dangerous article the way I read it, because it's talking about our devaluation of our dollar. in par with the U.S. dollar, right? So I bring it up to you because you talk about the Prime Minister is going to have a conference this morning, and we'll talk about the economy of Belize, right? And this group is a credible group, I presume, because it published it on its network. No? So it would be nice for you to. The group is a European-based group by the name of Credenda, Credendo, Credendo. Right? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Carla. On that point, I want to just say that I know I don't see that we are going to have any kind of devaluation at this point in time. You know, I know that maybe people might look at that or worry about that, and that is something, of course, that any nation would want to think about and worry about, because of course it has a lot of implications. But at this point in time, as far as I know in cabinet and what the Prime Minister is doing in terms of how we manage the finances, that is not even on the table as yet. You know, I think the way they are managing the financing, I think the government has its hand on terms of how we're going to deal with the wage bill and all of these things. There have a lot of cuts that have been done at the various ministries. I think ministries are getting 1/20th of what they were getting. And things like that. So they are pulling from elsewhere right now to ensure that we can carry on. And of course, the economy will reopen. And not like we are still locked down forever. So definitely we have to start the economy in terms of the foreign reserve, the foreign bringing in the foreign reserves. That means bringing in the foreign dollars. And how you do that, I mean, we have to start back with tourism. Tourism is our biggest and strongest economy in terms of the foreign reserves being filled in this country. I know the banks have put some limitations on credit cards, etc. I know that has happened, and that has happened because they want to ensure that the foreign reserve that the country has is used for the essential, such as the importation of goods, etc., as opposed to people just, they want to order something out there and that. And that is the case because foreign reserves, have the tourists coming in here. We have foreign investments taking place, which are still good right now because you have foreign reserves coming into the country. You have development still taking in the tourism sector in terms of condominiums, buildings, etc., that are being built across this country. But nevertheless, the economy must be reopened. And I think that will be part of the Prime Minister's discussion later on this morning, in terms of talking about the possible opening of our economy in terms of allowing tourists to enter this country. And that will be, I think his projected date is the 1st of July, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, the Prime Minister will highlight all of these things. But definitely, I am sure that from what I've heard is that definitely Belize what we are going through right now is a plan that has been implemented already, and is working towards that plan that is there. It's not like we are working haphazard, and I think this is the important thing that Belizeans must know, that this government has, from the day this thing, COVID, before it was coming to this country, plans were already being made in terms of how do we move forward. What happens if we have to go into lockdown? How long can we survive as a nation in terms of the government having to do the cutbacks, having the government have to do these relief funding to people who are not working? All of these things never just come out and we discuss it today and say, "Bye, make we do this tomorrow." No, it is a strategy that the government came up with, and I think all of this, the strategy, has been a great success. The way the government has managed the COVID dilemma, and I say this proudly because from the health service, the Department of Health Services, how they implemented their measures, etc. All of these things have played out properly. The way government has decided, we will budget for so much, and we will ensure we are able to help so many people, and that those things come with a budget. So you don't calculate, we'll help 40,000 people. That will be maybe our max, or 50,000 or 60,000 people. How long can we sustain this for the next 4 or 5 months? They put a budget, they say, well, the monies will come from here to there to support that. And then the rest are things that we have to do. And I think for the major part of these strategies and plan, I think for the most part it is working out well. Of course, you have here and there little issues that come up, but that is like with any other plan. But one thing I will say, Checky, the government has done an excellent job in managing this situation. I think Belize, I will tell you on that because I sit in cabinet, but I the plans, the people who have put in their work in the National Oversight Committee, the task force, the people in the Department of Health Services, the Ministry of National Security personnel on the ground, you name it, everything, I think we have really come up, and most importantly, the cooperation and the support that we have gotten from the community out there has played a tremendous role. That is why we have to salute our Belizeans across this country for their cooperation. They are wanting to ensure that we secure this country and be safe. I mean, that has with the work and the leadership of the government has really done well. You can see it right now in this country where we are. You compare Belize to Guatemala, to Mexico, to Honduras, you name it, to the Caribbean countries. Belize has stood out for the great work that has been done. And definitely, like I said, government knows that we can only sustain this for a certain amount of months. That has been in the making. And the plan is now we will reopen, and how we will reopen to safeguard the Belizean people. All of that has been discussions that have been done, and the way forward is being looked upon. And the Prime Minister will highlight a lot of these things, I think, here on his press conference at 10 this morning. But like I say, definitely Belize is doing well. I don't think we're even looking at the evaluation. So what the caller mentioned there, although people might write, there's a lot of people who write and say, well, this and that. But definitely from what I know, our national reserves has been strong thanks to the United Democratic Party. We have strengthened up our national reserves where we can fall back on that. But of course, there are always challenges with foreign reserves, etc. But definitely the government has a plan in terms of how we are working on that. And to a large extent, that strategy that the government has put in place is working. And I'm sure that it will continue to work, especially with the plans to reopen, to get this country back into moving forward, especially in terms of the economy.
Well, on that note, Minister, it's 9 minutes away from 8 o'clock, folks. Minister Aragon and Robert Cheque Usher will be back right here after these messages on Nortevisión Channel 10.
Motor 5.0, 4 válvulas por cilindro. Todos quisiéramos una. Como que no agarra, ¿no? Siento como que se le pega el balancín. Vamos a darte el aceite que te mereces. Vas a correr como rayo, preciosa.
Los que oímos más allá de las revoluciones, hablamos máquina. Roche-France, poniendo el mundo a funcionar.
Agente autorizado German Vega y Sons. Teléfono 322-3625. Roche-France.
The ongoing technological evolution constantly transforms the way we live our lives. The introduction of our national fiber network creates the opportunity for Belizeans to live the digital lifestyle. Today, Digi is proud to introduce Dana, Belize's first artificially intelligent automated assistant. Dana is the modern customer service experience. Available 24/7, Dana can provide Digi prepaid and postpaid customers with directory information, credit and plan balances, product and promo information, and more. Just talk to Dana. Want to check your credit balance? Ask Dana.
Hey Dana, what's my credit balance?
New Digi promotions? Ask Dana.
Hey Dana, any new Digi promotions?
Dial 113 for directory assistance and dial 119 to talk to Dana. Digi remains committed to introducing the latest in cutting-edge technologies, transforming Belize one technology at a time. Try Dana today.
Thank you for calling Digi Customer Service.
Someone come? Yes, someone coming. Let's go. Sa. First and question of the day. What you the letter?
Who sent me the letter?
That sign right there. You can't read?
Well, make I tell you something. In this here community, everybody dump here, so me just dump my garbage right here.
So if somebody jump off a bridge, you that do it too?
No, man, no.
You never know that littering is an environmental crime and Department of the Environment can charge you for that?
Why is that a crime?
Because you pollute the same environment you live in, dirtying the same land and water you use. You don't even know that you dumping garbage can make you and your family sick by attracting disease-carrying pests, and the Department of the Environment just to try help we take care of the we environment.
Sure, all of that? Well, now that you put it that way.
sense, brother. Fast sense question of the day.
This message is brought to you by the Department of the Environment.
You have an 8-cylinder powerful engine disguised as an aluminum alloy that spins at 8,000 revolutions per minute.
Goes like this. You think it's a turbo?
No, with a cleaning of injectors and a change of oil, you will run more efficient, my friend.
For those who understand the engine like it talks to you, we speak machine. Rush France, making the world function. Authorized agent, German Vega and Sons. Telephone number 322-3625. Email germanvega@btl.net.
These sunny days are here, and whether it's for a picnic or in your kitchen, you need the meat. Gillette's Meat Shop proudly offers a variety of juicy cuts such as processed meats, ham, bacon, salami, longaniza, and sugar cure ham, just to mention a few. Enjoy our meats in beef, pork, and mutton. So for that healthy cut your family enjoys, visit us at number 18 San Antonio Road in Orange Walk from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 12:30 and 3 to 5 p.m. Sundays, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Place your orders at 322-3486 or 322-2175 or even 610-4061. Send us an email at derekgillett31@gmail.com. Gillette's Meat Shop, fresh and processed meats.
Ay, qué rico.
World-class spaces for Belizean athletes to thrive and fans to enjoy. Our new basketball and multi-purpose arenas have proven their worth, attracting regional and international sporting events and hosting expos, conferences, and proud graduates. Your government moving Belize forward.
The Philip Goldson Highway between Belize City and the Philip Goldson International Airport is getting a major facelift to the tune of $31.5 million. Section B of the highway upgrading project between Haulover Bridge and the Buttonwood Bay Boulevard roundabout is underway at an investment of $21 million. Works consist of the full rehabilitation of the road to paved standard, which includes the widening of the road to 4 lanes, lined sidewalks and drains, wide shoulders, median, and parking plus a bus lane at designated sections of the road. LED road lighting will be installed along with road safety features such as signs, reflectors, and road markings. The project will also facilitate in the improvement of underground infrastructure for the public utility companies. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
SugarCity Morning Show. Welcome back to the SugarCity Morning Show. Minister Aragon and Robert Cheque Usher. Hi, good morning, Minister. Have a great day. And somebody say, hi, morning. Some of we Belizeans just don't care. But when they feel the pinch, they cry out. I just hope we don't relax so much that we forget the COVID-19 is still around. Make we not let down
the guard, yeah.
Yeah, not let down guards, right?
We can't, Chicky. I tell you, guys, I mean, we are blessed that we never have that impact. Because you imagine other countries where COVID has devastated families, Mm-hmm. If you had a family member where you lose from COVID and that, you understand the seriousness of this, right? In this country, we not gone through all of that, A lot of we Belizean people never experience that at all. We know we're going through the hardships in terms of the lockdown or the restrictions that were placed, etc. But imagine we get that virus in here and that really devastates a lot of our vulnerable communities, people who, the persons who suffer diabetes, the people who elderly, etc.
Cancer patients.
It could really impact us, and I am thankful we are not there, but we must not let our guard down, like the caller is saying, and ensure that we don't have to deal with that situation,
Yeah, folks that are listening on the East Radio, you can reach us at 302-2170. That's 302-2170, and you can send us text message at 600-5769. You can do it via regular text or also by WhatsApp. Minister, you mentioned about the different gatherings when it comes to the church. Do you know if gatherings will be restricted, like one place could go a certain amount and the next place go a certain amount, or it will be across the board?
I think I'm not too sure. I know that Cabinet had made some recommendations to the National Oversight Committee. We were saying, I think in Cabinet we had made a recommendation where, I think the first 25 people, you have some churches who could hold far more than 25,
right?
Implementing the social distancing rules.
Yeah.
And so you said 25 to small. I mean, we could maybe open it up for churchgoers, so especially depending on the size of their churches. You can have some small church too.
Yeah, they got some small church.
So I think that the discussions were there to say, maybe we could allow them, depending on the size of their church, how many they can accommodate. Let us say we tell them 50 people, and the social distancing rules applies. You could have maybe 50 people in your church. But those recommendations were sent to the National Oversight Committee, and I think the Prime Minister will announce that. I don't know what are the numbers, but I'm sure it's not going to be less than 40 people.
Okay.
Or thereabout. I can't give a direct answer because recommendations are only made. It is the National Oversight Committee that decides. And so I think the Prime Minister will highlight that. But definitely, I am certain the restrictions will be lowered in terms of allowing more people to attend church.
Do you have the information on when these new measures will become effective?
Well, I think as soon as the statutory instrument is signed.
Oh, that needs to be signed.
Yes, that to lift that, because we are still in a state of emergency. So the Attorney General's ministry will put out the SI highlighting these lifting of restrictions.
Yeah.
These are basically new rules, new laws, basically that will state that, listen, the church can have only so many people, or restaurants can now operate, whether you have outdoor seating or indoor, provided you follow the social distancing rules. So these things have to be done in law, Just like when I put that you have to wear a face mask, and if not, you could get fined up to 5 whatever, So those things have to be done and penned. So that is the situation, and I'm sure, I would believe that if the Prime Minister will be announcing some of these things today, I think that the site should be out anytime soon, whether it be maybe later this evening or maybe it's already signed, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It all depends on the Attorney General's ministry, but I would want to believe that they would be if the Prime Minister will be announcing them,
Yeah.
If not very shortly thereafter.
But you still want to ask persons to adhere to whatever rules comes out, because I was understanding that they will be opening up some playgrounds as well for kids, but you just can't get your kids in a run about in communication with other persons.
Well, of course, I think they will be opening up some of the sporting facilities where people could go. I think they could go play basketball 3-on-3, volleyball and other sports might be able to be done. Track and field, but of course I think we just have to be cautious in whatever we do. That is why the rule is there that we have to put a full face mask when we're in public, and all of these things. And I think we need to adhere to these things because that in itself lends itself to trying to to minimize the exposure if somebody have a virus, you know. Yeah. So I think that we just have to follow the rules. I think the Department of Health Services, their directives in terms of their recommendations, and that I think we must adhere to. You know, we must bear these things in mind. And sometimes it's not easy because we have to look at how we begin to get this country back on track in terms of the economy and all of these things. So I think it's a balancing act we have to do, but I think consciously every single Belizean has a role to play in ensuring that we continue the way we are in this country in terms of being COVID free, you know?
Yeah, and then when it comes to the proposed date that the Prime Minister is looking, and of course with recommendations and from the Cabinet and from the oversight committees as well, do you know any information on the rapid test equipment?
Well, you know, there are certain tests that can be done, you know. As far as I know, I don't know an expert on in terms of the medical side of this thing, but I can tell you that as far as I have learned is that you have certain tests that are done via blood, that they can test you, you know, you get blood, the blood works, go through the testing process, and then it comes back whether you're positive or negative. And I think this is one of the most accurate tests.
The blood test,
as apart from the when I'm pushing the swab down your nose, or when you take a temperature, you got that only for temperature reading. The best test has to do with the blood works, and I think that is the test I think is being recommended for anybody and that test must be done. I think I'm not sure if it's going to be 48 or 72 hours before you come into this country. You'll be allowed to come into this country. Like I said, the Prime Minister will highlight these things today at his press conference. So he will know exactly what has come out of the National Oversight Committee. These are just what I would say were recommendations leading up to trying to see how and when we can open the economy. Like I said, a lot of these things go through a lot of discussion, especially through the National Oversight Committee. And at the end of the day, the decisions that are made will then be relayed down to the public, you know. And I think that is why it is important for us to tune into the Prime Minister's press conference so you can hear it there as a definite answer as to the way forward. But I do think it is important, especially if we want to open this economy back, we must put some kind of safeguard for no checky. You the condom come to Belize. I mean, at least we could sure that within the last 72 hours you are taking a test of whether if it can be 48 hours, I'm not sure, that you're cleared, that you're negative, and then you could come in. You know, at least that lends itself to trying to safeguard it. Of course, nothing is foolproof. I don't know any situation that is foolproof, but at best we are putting certain measures to safeguard as best as possible.
As well, it's good for yourself as a traveler too, because maybe you could have it and you not even know. But by taking the test, you could say, they could tell you, hey, you have symptoms or you're positive, so you could go into treatment, no? And then not only to avoid spreading it to other persons or family, but to protect yourself as well.
Right. And this all, I think it lends itself likewise to buying time in terms of where we can look at vaccines and other measures that could be found, you know. And I think scientists out there are really working hard trying to find those solutions. You know.
They talk about the Bolido and the casinos, but I never understand one part too clearly when they say that alcohol will not be sold in the casinos, and of course they will have a limitation of the amount of persons, but it said with the exception of the casinos at the borders. The exception means that the ones at the borders will not open?
Yeah, will not open. Well, like I said, these were recommendations made to the NOC, not the National Oversight Committee. Again, I can't confirm and tell you that will happen. It's only the Prime Minister on his press conference could confirm these things, because recommendations are made, but the NOC basically discuss and decides or approves or whatever, you know, and based on their own recommendations and thinking. So I know recommendations were sent up in terms of that. So definitely those were the stipulations, and of course we have to abide by the state of emergency curfew. That means the 8 o'clock still counts. I think recommendations are also made that on the weekends we kind of we extend it 1 hour more, you know, as a weekend, So what if that was approved or not? I think the Prime Minister will highlight that. But at the end of the day, like I said, you mentioned Bolido. And I think Bolido was made, recommendations were also made for that. Because, I mean, you go to the store now, that's just like you go tap up, you know,
Yes.
Bolido like that, you get in a number, and
Yeah.
you pay, and you get your number.
But Minister, persons that are listening to you explaining some of these measures right now, we would like persons to know that what you are doing right now, you are just mentioning some of these.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed until the new SI
That's
is signed
right.
and until it's announced that it's signed, right?
Exactly.
So they cannot go, but I hear the minister said this morning, that's why they do that, right?
No, and these are just, I'm just highlighting some of the recommendations that were made to the NOC. That means that the NOC might have said, you know what, we don't want to hear that.
Right.
We know upon that. And at the end of the day, the Prime Minister sat on it with the NOC over these recommendations, and that is why he's having a press conference, so that he can lay it out the way it is, you know. I am just kind of sharing to you what were some of the recommendations, you know, but at the end of the day, the National Oversight Committee basically decided on what will be. So those will be made public today through the Prime Minister on his press conference now at 10 o'clock. So I invite everybody to tune in so you could hear from the Prime Minister exactly what are some of these things. And I think a lot of these recommendations I saw on the news were highlighted likewise, you know. So they're not like it just come out here, you know, the news has highlighted these things. But at the end of the day, the National Oversight Committee and the Prime Minister will dictate in terms of where we go with these recommendations, you know. But I do think that some of the recommendations are good. I think it will assist a lot of people in terms of some of the lifting of these restrictions. But at the end of the day, it does not take away the responsibility we have as a people, you know, here in Belize. We have our responsibility, a civic duty, to ensure that we abide by social distancing rule, by putting on our masks, by ensuring that we are not out there just the idle self out there if we don't have a purpose, you know. Because we have to still remember we are in the prevention of trying to prevent COVID from being in this country. Right. And we have to do a part. And that part cannot be one way that only the government will do a part. The nation, the people must do its part likewise.
Last week when you were here, somebody sent a text from Progresso and asked about the Aragon's Christmas Cup. Anything updated to that? And if you figure it out, you said that usually starts in September.
September,
It's starting in September, and we still have this pandemic on us, and with social distancing. Are any plans in place to try to see how you can work around that?
Well, like I said, right now, we usually, the planning starts sometime late August. The planning committee comes together. By September, you know, we begin to sign up clubs, and I think by the first week of October or the last week of September, our competition kicks off.
Yeah.
So it buys us some time, you know, because right now we are in, you could nearly say June, July, August. So we have about 3 months to see how things operate. But nonetheless, we are prepared to have it. I think it is something great. I think I wouldn't want to see it not held this year.
Yes.
You know, this will be the 6th year we are doing it, and I would want to see that continue. I mean, it is a tradition. I think a lot of teams look up to this, to the Aragon's Christmas Cup, and our working committee looks towards that because, you know, I mean, they like football and things too. So, but we'll see how things go, and definitely we will do our best to have it, you know.
It's something good for families as well,
Yes,
because when
yes.
the Aragon's Christmas Cup is on and you pass that area, you see people coming out with their wives, with their entire family, and going to the event. So it brings people together, which is something good, no?
Yeah. So we will, and I sure just like that, you have a lot of events that have been postponed. You know, some
true.
events during this period just gone the wayside, you know. So, you know, at least that is farther down. So, you know, we have to be hopeful that we'll be able to do it. Everything, again, like I said, it is dictated by the kind of restrictions we have, kind of the situation, you know. At this point in time, we are seeing certain restrictions lifted. That don't mean that they can't come back next month, you know. It all depends on what happens.
Yeah, the Aragon Christmas Cup, you know, when you started it like 6 years ago, when we were going around and going to Santa Marta and fixing up, working, well, we were there as the media crew, no? When you were working on the computer lab there in Chanpai Ridge and the bleachers in Palmar, lots of different projects over the area. I have always thought that the Aragon's Christmas Cup would have been for only person from the east, but we see teams coming in from San Felipe, from Progreso, all over, and last year I believe they had a team from San Jose as well.
Yeah, well, because when we first started, we thought, all right, we will just do it for the east, but when we looked at it further, we found out that we had a lot of teams in this district who really wanted to compete, and then we said, you know what, we want to do something good for football. It's not just a league tournament where we set up.
Right.
It's something that we could make big in terms that we bring the best of the best within the district of Orange Walk. And right now, the Aragon's Christmas Cup only centers around Orange Walk district. We don't allow no other teams from Belize, from no other place. It is because we want to ensure that we get the best of Orange Walk competing. And so we decided, you know what, we have people, teams, once it comes from Orange Walk, they can come and sign up and register and play. And there are certain rules there. You can have more than one or two players, I think, where they compete at the semi-pro level and all this. So there are certain rules and things that we tried our best to abide by, very strict rules. And I think right now we get the best of the best teams in the district to compete at that level, because one of the biggest motivation is, one, the organization that we have on the ground. Two, the location that we do it in terms of the Louisiana. We get a lot of people come out. A lot of people love that football. And three, the cash prize that we give out. I mean, we don't give out no small cash prize. It is worth it for a team to say, let's train, let's go get together, let's work out and go compete,
Yeah.
And I think that competition is healthy. And I think that goes a long way in building our sports and having a positive avenue for our young people. And so I'm very proud of being able to say, you know what, that was something we have done and continues to do well for the people and the young people of Orange Walk.
And it also brings economic growth to the east as well.
Yeah, vendors and...
Yeah, people go sell ice, people sell and leave food and so.
Yep.
All the shops were in the area, they get sale, and the area is uplifted as well. Value go up for properties in the area. But talking about the area and the Orange Walk East, Minister, I know we have been discussing about this COVID-19 this morning, but is there a halt in the east?
Halt? What do you mean halt?
Things they move, things they happen?
Well, things continue to move, I mean, I would have loved that we never have COVID, because there were a lot of... This COVID basically has affected government coffers, right? Financially. Some of the projects that were already lined up, I am not too sure if they are going to finish, because it all depends on our Cap 2 spending and that and things like that. Monies that were budgeted, the government had to pull here and there. And so we have to wait and look and see where and how that will play out. But nevertheless, things continue to happen in the East. I tell you, every week we are still moving around, whether we are out there trying to see how we assist those in need in our community. Right now, I will tell you that the Louisiana government school, the extension, in terms of the brand new, spanking new building that will be built is on the way already. That those monies.
Let's get some pictures there, guys. Some Louisiana school, please.
So that Louisiana school is being done. Well, now this is the Sunday field.
Oh, that's the Sunday field.
Yeah. All right. Okay. This is the.
That's the works.
This is Louisiana.
That is the foundation. No?
Yeah, they are building. So they are working right now. So the school definitely will be done. This will be a spanking new building for the Louisiana, and basically I think it will be 6 new classrooms, if I'm not mistaken, and along with office space, or computer lab. This is what I've been told. So tremendous work is being done right now. That the COVID has slowed this down, because that lockdown, I think we had about maybe 2 months before. They never do nothing because everybody was in lockdown. But since they opened up the construction work and that, the building has started. The engineers and everybody went out there and work has commenced. So I feel extremely proud of this. This is work ongoing as we speak. People are out there working day in and day out. And so I look forward to seeing this building completed in the next few months. This is a project marching on, has not been affected by COVID except for the delay in the start of the work. But the funding and that is secured, so that is set ongoing. And I feel very good because it has put our people to work,
Mm-hmm.
We have some of the people from the East working there. Right now, I'm hoping that we can get more people employed there because, we want people need jobs right now. And I've always believed that by creating the opportunities for people to have an employment is the greatest gift we can give someone,
Yeah, so you figure if the
Because
work
they could work for
continues,
themselves.
how it's going right now, probably by October that should be
Yes,
up.
man. Before the end of this year, I think this building will be done, and I can't wait for me to do the inauguration in terms of this building.
So what will this contribute to the school when
Well,
it comes to
definitely,
students? Did you have
getting-
crowded?
Yes. Louisiana is one of the fastest growing primary schools, I would want to say, in this country.
I know a person from
You know,
Trial Farm who went to Louisiana.
especially. Yes, and a very good school. I feel proud for know that we are putting a new extension, a new building there with 6 classrooms that will assist that school to expand, Because a lot of these schools, I will tell you right now, in this town of ours, they get jam up. We have a lot more kids coming up, and so this is a great boost to Louisiana government school. Apart from that, before the COVID started, I think from last year, we had a small competition at the Sandy Field area.
Competition on?
Yeah, competition for 7-a-side and things like that.
Okay, that's football?
Yes, football.
Okay.
Very, very, very healthy. I really admire the young people who came out and the fans that came out, and it has long been a plan for me to try to do something in that area in terms of trying to give the young people an access to positive things. And how you do that? By developing sports, we need for build infrastructure. One of the things that we are doing there is spanking new bleachers at Sandy Field. That work started but had to stop because of the COVID. But as far as I know, it has resumed already. There are pictures that we can show you as to where we are with that construction, and that is going up. I was just there yesterday morning. I was there with the people from BL, Mr. Cobb, to look at to putting up the lights, because this is the Sandy Field right now. These are the bleachers.
What part of town that there?
In the Pasadita area.
Oh, Pasadita area.
Yes, so
okay.
we have bleachers there. We have to line
Those are
up.
recent bleachers?
Yes, they are newly built. Yeah, we're not finished it. They're not done yet. Their construction is still underway. We have to put the cover. We still have to put the dugouts. So there are more work, a lot of work that is left to be done right now. Like I said, that work had been stalled because we started before COVID, but when COVID come, it was halted, and it will need to resume now. Some of the work is ongoing. It's ongoing right now. So we have the taps that needs to be done. We were there on the ground yesterday morning. I was there to look at the lighting because we were out there with BL to see, because the way the Lee Park set up, they're like one Lee kind of bend, so we are straightening it out. We have to move the goalposts and set them in the correct place, line up the field. By doing that, then we'll be able to put the posts them. I've already been able to secure the lights for that field. Good. We're going to put 6 new lights for that field. Right now we're working with BL to be able to put the posts and for them to connect it up for us, and that will see lights on this field. And I think it will lend itself to all the young people in that area. That Pasadita area is a huge area. We'll give them a nice park to go to in terms of where they can play their football in terms of the 7-a-side. And I think that field will lend itself as the home of the 7-a-side in this town, because of how we are building it, I'm still on that project. There's still work that we have to do in terms of the basketball court that is there. And of course, the playground that is there needs some work. All of that is in this plan, like I said, but we are just getting back to work now in terms of after this COVID's slowdown.
Yeah. So when you decided to do that...
Definitely that will carry on. That project is being carried out.
Yeah. When you decided to do that, you put everything in one plan.
Yes, everything on one plan. So
they have basketball in that area?
Yes, they have a basketball court, but it has caved in, or a section of it has caved in. So
is that in the plans for this as well?
Yes, we're going to work with that, and I'm working on it. It's right there. It's I think you could see the crack on the thing.
Right.
So we're going to fix that. It is right now. Like I said, just yesterday the contractor is still continuing with the bleachers, but we are still now at the same time. We are working with BL because BL came out there to ensure they get the measurements for put up the posts. The lights have been secured. So once we get the posts and BL run wires, we get the lights will go up. Apart from that, the bleachers will be completed. The dugouts will be done. Then we will work on the basketball court and the playground. And so it is a plan to uplift that entire field there. And I think it will lend itself definitely positively to the growth of our community, especially our young people being positively influenced, by sports.
Yeah, and I have the lights so they can go out at night and play safely.
Right.
Anything with the Santa Marta water?
Yes, definitely. We have. I'm hoping that the truck came in on Wednesday here, so I was hoping that yesterday I was actually on my way to Santa Marta because they said the truck would have gone there, but I got a call and said the truck didn't. It's still in Orange Walk, but didn't reach out there because they had to be sent to shipyard for some mechanical issue. But hopefully, I believe by Monday morning, I should be in the village with the truck that will be drilling a new well, and we are going to go very deep with that well to get the best possible water for the people. We've always had a challenge out there in Santa Marta because of the geographical location of that place. We've always had a battle in terms of brackish water in that area. So we are looking at finding a remedy to that, but one way or the other, in terms of this new well, and to see how we can deal in the treatment of the water, so we could provide how would I put it, a good potable water, for
clean,
people.
fresh water.
Exactly. So that is the whole work in terms of that. And like I said, we have had the truck. The truck is actually here in Orange Walk,
and it will make it to Santa Marta.
Definitely. But when you go drill them big well, then take you at least 1, 2, 3 days to do all that work. So definitely, I think that I would give today for the truck to be ready, so that by Monday we could get out there. So I am hopeful that Monday will be drilling that, and I will definitely get some pictures and.
Right. Is that area rocky when it comes to drilling?
No, not really. I think that it's just the fact that where we have to deal with the kind of water quality that is found in that area. But definitely we have had the area cleared. I last time I came, I highlighted some of the pictures where we had identified the new area, we had cleared it. So right now where the truck they come, just for make the truck go sit down and get on with the work there, So work continues to happen in the east, and there's a lot more things, that I'd like to highlight. As we progress with time, I'll come and bring you the pictures of the work that is ongoing. But these are two major works in terms of the Louisiana football field and the Sandy field. The other works that I have to yet wait and see, for instance, the police station in Carmelita. That money was coming from CAP 2. It was already slated. It was already there. I got to double check and see if it is still there. I know we got way up to where the contractor was approved and all of that, but to see if those funds were released, I have to check all of these things. All of these things, like I said, COVID has affected a lot of stuff, but nevertheless, the work never stops in Orange Walk East, and we continue to work. I continue to work hard for people, especially, I'm always trying to help people. I know there are people who are out there with water problems. I've assisted them, light is always a challenge, even more so than water. But, we continue to try to work and get these expansions for people, So there's a lot of tremendous work that we continue to do, and will continue to be done in the Orange Walk East division,
Yeah. Anything with the talk about the lights, with the talk about the sporting facilities there at the Sandy Field. We have the school which is building up and coming up. We have registration coming. I think today is the last day for some schools, but we need to take a break, Minister, and we ask if any update when it comes to the education subsidy. But we need to take a break because it's 28 minutes now after 8 o'clock. And Minister Aragon and Robert Cheke Usher will be back after these messages right here on North Television, Channel 10.
The San Ignacio-Santa Elena Bypass project is now complete. The transformation began in 2012, and now residents of the Twin Towns and visitors alike are enjoying the end result. Works include the full pavement of Lamalus Boulevard, along with 2 miles of sidewalks and drainage, LED lighting, and a roundabout at the entrance of Santa Elena. The Twin Towns now boast the longest and widest bridge in Belize, immune to flooding from the occasional rise in water levels of the McCall River. A bypass road was also built linking the new bridge to Joseph Andrews Drive, which was rehabilitated, as well as 1 mile of pavement, a median, and 2 miles of sidewalks and drainage. The This was all done to the tune of $34.8 million. But that's not all. The project was extended due to savings from the successful execution and implementation of the initial scope of works. Now over 2 miles of additional roadworks will commence, including George Price Avenue, Liberty Avenue, and the George Price Highway between Three Flags and Hawksworth Bridge. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Motor 5.0, 4 válvulas por cilindro. Todos quisiéramos una. Como que no agarra, ¿no? Siento como que se le pega el balancín. Vamos a darte el aceite que te mereces. Vas a correr como rayo, preciosa.
Los que oímos más allá de las revoluciones, hablamos máquina. Rostrands, poniendo el mundo a funcionar.
Agente autorizado German Vega y Sons. Teléfono 322-3625. Rostrands.
The ongoing technological evolution constantly transforms the way we live our lives. The introduction of our national fiber network creates the opportunity for Belizeans to live the digital lifestyle. Today, Digi is proud to introduce Dana, Belize's first artificially intelligent automated assistant. Dana is the modern customer service experience. Available 24/7, Dana can provide Digi prepaid and postpaid customers with directory information, credit and plan balances, product and promo information, and more. Just talk to Dana. Want to check your credit balance? Ask Dana.
Hey Dana, what's my credit balance?
New Digi promotions? Ask Dana.
Hey Dana, any new Digi promotions?
Dial 113 for directory assistance and dial 119 to talk to Dana. Digi remains committed to introducing the latest in cutting-edge technologies, transforming Belize one technology at a time. Try Dana today.
Thank you for calling Digi Customer Service.
John Briseno says government needs to trim the fat. Let's take a minute to look at that fact.
Johnny Briseno receives a salary of $60,000 from the government to be the leader of the opposition and $84,000 for sports and community projects in his constituency. The People's United Party representatives receive about $993,000 annually from government to assist residents of their constituencies.
Since the COVID-19 state of emergency, the Prime Minister of Belize has given all his salary toward the relief efforts. The UDP ministers has given up a month's salary and allowances going forward. Johnny Briseno has not agreed to give up anything. The PUP representatives have not agreed to give up anything.
Leadership is about action, not words.
Everybody wants a clean and healthy family. That's why they purchase the best food products and the cleansing materials. This time, we give you a bigger size of La Costeña products like the mouth-watering fried beans and the pasta sauce. And surely for your clean laundry, we have the breathtaking aroma of Ensueño Max Suavitel. Even your visitors will ask what you clean your floors and restrooms with. And you can boast it is the variety of Pinol products and Sultan muriatic acid now in 900 milliliters. And much more for the best prices only at German Vega and Sons Imports. We serve you at number 5 San Antonio Road, Orange Walk Town. You can even call us at 322-3625 or 322-2672. Or you can even send us a fax at 322-2571 or email us at germanvega@btl.net. German Vega and Sons Limited, because we care for you.
Have you ever noticed the development that's taking place in your town or in your city? Maybe it's because you've been too busy enjoying the results. More for Belizeans, more for Belize, The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show. It's 26 minutes now away from 9 o'clock. Minister Aragon and Robert Checker Usher right here on the Sugar City Morning Show. Minister, before we went on the break, we were talking about high school registering, students getting uniforms and different things. Anything so far in place when it comes to subsidy or help for school education?
Well, definitely. I think that that is a very important topic that you brought up. I think Belizean students across this country, the families across this country are aware of the government's policy in terms of the subsidy, the school subsidy they give first and second farmers, the subsidy that they give to those who are in need, the financial assistance that comes about in terms of assisting students towards their student tuition and all these, the school tuition. So these have been a staple service, a staple support that the government has given to Belizeans for, I would say, the last 10 years or so.
Right.
You know, and every year I could tell you as a representative, we have been able through the office assist a lot of students, you know. And apart from us assisting directly, you've had a lot of through the government side in terms of the subsidy that is given to students for the first and second farm automatic. All the students in the villages who have gotten these subsidies are automatic. That has been a great testament to the work of the UDP government, you know. This year, right now, with this COVID, I don't have a direct answer at this point in time to say that this is what will happen this year, because I know that the government had to draw upon a lot of the resources, you know, in terms of the strategic plan they had to cover us for the next 6 months or 8 months during the COVID period. So all that money had to be put or hold so that it is not spent, just to ensure that we can carry on with the support to people, the relief fund that we are giving people during this COVID period. So at this point in time, I don't have a definite answer to say that there will be subsidies will continue as usual, or financial assistance will go to students. I know that our program usually runs in May, starts in May, in terms of the financial support to students, and runs up to maybe June, July, depending on how much funds remain. At this point in time, I know that Patrick Faber on TV had said that, you know, he's asking parents to pay their tuition because we are not sure in terms of what monies we have. I know the ministries, every ministry, and especially the Ministry of Education, is looking at their financing to see what is there. And definitely they will have to look at to what extent they'll be able to reach out in terms of assisting. And I think the first thing they will look at is in terms of the subsidy to the schools, the first and second years, you know. Remember, you also got in Fourth Farm where they pay 6 CXCs and all of these things. So all of that, I am sure the Ministry of Education is looking at to see how and in what fashion such programs will continue and to what extent. For one, I will say that the financial assistance that we have gotten in our constituents in terms of the one that supports you students, whether you are primary school, high school, sixth form, university, towards your tuition. At this point in time, we haven't gotten any funds, have not been released to say, you know what, this is what we have budgeted for the students' tuition, financial support. So that has not been forthcoming. I am yet to hear from the Ministry of Education to see if funds will be available and to what extent. So that is where we are right now. But you know, the way my personal feel is that at this point in time, what has transpired right now with COVID has basically swooped up these funds, you know, and these funds have all been put towards, I would want to think especially the wage bill of the government in terms of ensuring that one, we keep everybody in the public service, keep people paid in terms of the teachers, etc. And apart from that, of course, the sustaining of 43,000 people who are on the relief program right now to get their every 2 weeks they get their bi-monthly payment, 150 and the 100. And so all of these fundings, I have a feel that have gone there. So that just right now, I still have to wait to hear directly from the Ministry of Education to say what will be the situation moving forward. So I wouldn't want to say to misspeak right now by saying, well, we not got no funds and that's it, and then later you say we get a leave funding,
or we want got,
or or that I say we not get no subsidy when the government, maybe the Ministry of Education said maybe we can help with the school assistance, but we could continue with the subsidy for the school. So I have to wait to hear from the Minister of Education. But like I said, at this point in time, I know the Ministry of Education have to do their own, and not only the Ministry of Education, but all ministries, all departments have to look and to see with the funding they are getting right now, to see how they will manage, what are their priorities and things like that. So that goes for every ministry, especially during this time in terms of the COVID, the effect COVID that has had on our economy. And when I mean has had on our economy, we have to be real. The economy has been hit because our foreign reserves in terms of the tourists coming into this country. Right now you go to San Pedro, you go to Kika, you find no tourists. The tourists where you say out there, the foreigners are people who were here long before COVID.
Yeah, they live there.
The expatriates were come and live here. But in terms of the vast amount of tourism, people will come, you don't got no boats to come, right? Then bring thousands of people will come off the island, a lot of tour guides work, money they roll, one little bit, money they spend, tourism in the island and all these places, Placentia, you name it. All of that, we don't have that. That's not there again. So that has created a drain in terms of funding. So government has to find that funding somewhere, and they have to pull it off somewhere, especially in terms of their strategy. Looking at for the last 6 to 8 months strategy in terms of how we will carry on. So definitely, like I said, I don't have the definite answer in terms of the Ministry of Education, and I'm sure that the Minister of Education, Patrick Faber, will make all of these things known in due time.
Minister, when it comes to the budget, a new budget was presented in the House. I cannot recall if the budget was passed or it wasn't passed because of the COVID. But is that budget effective right now?
Yes. The budget passed. But you must understand that budget was basically a presentation of how funding would be issued out to different ministries, etc. How much government was projected to make over this year, the spending and all of these things. But COVID has now come in. That budget that you have planned, just like when you plan, you collect only $200 a week. You don't know for the month you make $1,000. You project that for the next 6 months you got $6,000 and how you gonna spend it.
And you got bills coming in, you got your bills.
So things are,
Hello, good morning, muy buenos días.
Yeah, morning, Chucky.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Minister.
Yeah, good morning.
Your Minister?
Good, man, good, right here.
Well, first of all, as always, I want to give you a big thank you for all the effort that you have given to the people of Orange Rockies.
All right.
During this pandemic time, I could say that you've never abandoned us. You were always there for us. Thank you, Minister.
Sure, man. I appreciate that.
To see if you can please do something from this road, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm supposed to come and go. It's in a terrible condition.
All right, good. We're going to look upon that. I'll ask Public Works to look at that. All right, sure, man. All right, thanks, Carla. Thanks.
So, Minister, you're saying that, like, if you say you make like $1,000 a month,
then like your budget for the year, Chicky, you don't know how much you make every like I said, every 2 weeks you get $500. You get $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
You don't know for the next 6 months you want to get, or for the rest of the year you make $12,000. So that money where you don't budget, you don't say, you know what, with this money, I know my light, my water, my studio, my son bill where I pay come out to something, my food, everything. So the little rest you say I save it and give it to my son. Yeah, I get $50 allowance, this my wife. That's like your ministries. And so what happened is that you don't budget that you don't tell your son every month you want to get $50. Your wife you want to get $100 and you pay this and that. But what happened? Oh, boom, one thing, when somebody gets sick in the family, you have to say the leave allowance I'm going to give, I can't give because we use it for cover the bills. The person was sick in your house. So the whole budget that you projected and planned, because you say, well, more money they come in if I make my extra, I chop my yard, I lay extra. Right now with this, there's something has happened that has shown the budget out. That means the plan for the Cap 2 spending for this and that project is in limbo because you don't know if you are still to make it. And that is what has happened with the government's budget right now, in terms that COVID has really come in. We have seen the projected revenue from tourism is not there, the day, because what we plan for receive, we didn't even get there because of the fact that this COVID, they allow no tourists to come. So all of that has had an impact. So government has had to juggle to see where we continue to maintain and keep the employees in terms of the public service, the teachers and all these people that get paid by government. So that will definitely see that you run short in different areas, because you will draw from there. So it is that is how the budget is, and at this point in time, that is why there are uncertainties when we talk about the subsidy for schools and assistance towards tuition. I really don't have an answer because the Minister of Education needs so, and I'm sure that is happening right now because I think last week we had asked, ministers were asked to look at their ministry and to see because they will only get a certain amount of funding, so they'll have to see how they manage.
Right.
And I know they're looking at cutbacks here, this project, we don't spend money on this project again, we want to do this and that. So a lot of things are happening, all in terms of ensuring and see how we can be more effective in spending, etc.
How when it comes to the projects that was already signed before all this, Minister?
Well, you see there are projects, for instance, you have the Sartaneja, in the Corozal, the road project, that was being built there, the big project. That is still ongoing. That will not stop.
That not affect government.
These fundings have come from outside already earmarked. So it's not the government had that money and said, well, with the budget. That money was already budgeted from agencies outside of this country, So that will not be affected. Those projects will still be carried on. We had the SIF project, those money was already allotted. That means it was there. They're not like monies where those monies came off some loan that government had a long time. So they're not like government have that money in cash, that money coming from an external source, which is the mark for that.
So those employments are still there as well?
Those will still be there, those will still be carried out, etc.
Do you know?
It is government-sponsored project directly that may be affected.
Do you know if the project that was supposed to come from, I believe from 19 miles, coming through Orange Walk to the northern border, if that project is still on?
I think that should still be on because those are external funding. Okay. Anything where they come from external funding, like the Taiwanese sponsor, that they come from direct from Taiwan. Taiwan will not stop that. That will still carry on. It is funding that comes directly from your pocket. Like I say, you may go and say, "May I buy one table next month?" No, you may don't have plan. You may don't save that money for buy that table, but this thing happens. You say, "Boy, I can't buy the table this week." So you know what? We're not buy the table again and use this money for look after the health of my child. So. Yeah. It is in that effect that government must now look and see what are the priorities and where we can carry on with some projects and where we cannot,
I understand exactly what you're saying, Minister, because I was supposed to buy some speakers and I can't buy any speakers again.
So you have to wait till things get a little better and you resume, no?
Yeah. So what's your hope with these? What's your hope for the country with these new measures that will be implemented and what the Prime Minister will be announcing today, Minister?
Well, for one, I think that lifting and some of the measures will go a long way, I think, to bringing people back to that normalcy where we used to, right? One, especially when you look at the tacos vendors and the people who sell on the roadside and, the least small business entities that we have that sell food. To me, that will be a tremendous boost. I know them people happy right now because they know I could go sell me the barbecue now, I could open me these shops, sell me burrito, me panades, whatever out there, the tacos vendors, and not only them, but even the people who consume and buy from them, I think are happy. I think that will go a long way, especially here in Orange Walk. I think that lifting of the restrictions will open people up more in terms of getting back to the things that they have done, like work-wise and things like that. So I think it will lend itself to positive things. I think that, of course, we as Belizeans, we have to be aware that around us we have this virus. It's out there. We have to do our best to make sure come in here, and we do our best for ensure that we contribute positively. That means put on with face masks, ensure with social distancing, all of these things must be done. But I think it will lend itself and it will work towards the eventual reopening of our economy in terms of looking at foreigners coming back into Belize and all of these things, the tourism industry. Yeah. Of course, that is a touchy situation still. Like I said, that is still being discussed. There's no final word on that. And all of those discussions are going through the National Oversight Committee.
Okay, but we need to listen to when the Prime Minister
speaks today at 10 o'clock. I ask everybody to tune in today at 10 a.m. and listen to the Prime Minister's press conference, where he will highlight all of these things and much more.
Okay. Well, your closing remarks for this morning, Minister?
Well, Checky, my thing is that the way I look at how we move forward is and I think in terms of the government, in terms of citizens across this country, I think that it will take everybody's effort, and I'm glad to know that we here in Orangewock, we never rely heavily on tourism, but our industries, in terms of the sugar industry, in terms of the work that is done out here in Orangewock, carries on, So yes, we get affected because what affects down south or affects in San Pedro affects us eventually. But at least I know that here in Orangewock we have very productive, hard-working people. I'm proud of the people here and across this country to a large extent. But when you look at Orangewock, I feel good to know that we continue to be industrious. People continue to work in their fields. We got the sugar factory, we got the other factories that are here that people work in. And I want for people to know that I am a believer in terms that the greatest empowerment we can give our people is that of employment, If you give a man employment, you take care of your family, he's able to work for himself and his family. And that is the biggest power you could give anybody in this country. And that is why when I am somebody who is open for investment to come into this country. And that is why when you look at that investment that comes into this country, and when you hear then they ask for 150 more persons to come and work with the radical centers and these BPOs, you feel good because this is where we have an edge in terms that employments are created, and that is why I have been a champion in terms of trying to work in finding employment for the people of this country, and especially the people in Orangewock East. And I will tell you, I've championed. People don't know the fight I got through for trying to see how we can create employment. I am hopeful that the factory that is being built in Carmelita will be able to operate very soon. If that is allowed, we will find about 200 more jobs. Employment in especially the east and in the whole Orangewock district. And of course, I talk about the spill-off effects of that employment. That is what I've championed for a long time. I'm hoping that it comes true, because it will mean so much for the people of Orangewock. I don't like talk one lot, Checky, but when it comes to trying to bring and make things happen, that is where you see me. I will tell you as a representative right now, I don't know any other representative who will bring my industry to Orangewock, And that factory that is being built in Carmelita, I am proud to know that I spearheaded that to get here to Orangewock, which will employ tremendous amount of people. It is still a ways off. There's still the work on it, but tremendous investment has been done there. Tremendous foreign reserves have come in because of that factory to the economy. And I am positive that will lend itself to the employment of many people. I'd say at least a minimum of 200 people, 100 and add at the start, and then reach up to 200 and 200 and add people.
Wow.
And you talk about the spill-off effects. Yeah. This is how we build a nation. This is how we put people to work. And I believe that if we do that as leaders, we will move this economy forward. We will make the economy in this country stronger. Tourism is strong. Right now, of course, it's weak because of the fact that this COVID. But if you never have COVID, the tourism and they make miles. Yeah. So these are the things that happen in life. But at the end of the day, I personally believe that employment is the greatest power we can give our citizens. And that is why I've always championed open economies. I know they have to protect nobody, because I believe competition is healthy. I also believe that it lends itself to a good economy, you know. And at the end of the day, who benefits? The Belizean people, right? And that is why I've championed. And as time comes, Checky, I will highlight that factory even more, so people could see the kind of investment that has been made and what it will bring and mean to people here in Orange and across this country, to Belizeans, you know. So these are the kind of work that I've championed, that I've taken on a long time ago, and it is about the work. I always believe it is about the work that you do that speaks for itself. You understand me, Checky? You look at the buildings being done at the Louisiana Government School, that not just happen. It has taken time championing that cause, and with a seat, people will live, and that will have an impact here in Orange Walk, in the east, for years and decades to come. I feel so good for know that, you know, we have done that. The Pasadita Lee bleachers will lend itself for years to the young people, and that is what we have done. All the projects I've done are projects that really will go to the heart of our community and build our community. To me, those are the greatest gifts we can do. And like I said, employment is something I've always been fighting for, and these are the kind of investments that we need in this country. Imagine we got one industry in each district where they get 200 jobs.
Wow,
you think our Belizean people would have to suffer? We have to champion and fight for these kind of industries to come in that will support our Belizeans, you know. And to me, that is the greatest gift any politician could do to their people, is finding and empowering them with jobs and working towards building the kind of infrastructure that goes a long way for our communities across this country. And that is what I champion for. I do it because I sincerely believe that this is the way that we can move our country forward, you know, Checky. But we have to take some time, maybe one other show, to highlight some of the things. And I think when we have to do that, bring some of the photos and things for make people go understand, because people still don't understand the immense work that has been done in some of our projects, and in terms of the factory that is being built. A lot of people don't know about that because it's not been spoken to for many reasons. But I think the time will come that we have to highlight these things, you know.
Okay. Well, Minister, thanks for coming, and we hope to have you back on Wednesday.
Sure,
you know,
man.
we know
No
if
problem.
things change and you are not be able to be here on Wednesday, then you will definitely just you'll definitely make it in sometime in the week, right?
We're there, Checky.
Yeah. So once again, folks, thanks for tuning in to the Sugar City Morning Show. We want to say good morning. Also, good morning to our listeners of the East Radio. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Dav, and the rest of the crew. We thank you all for tuning in when the minister is here. And we want to wish everyone the best. Remember, the show repeats at 8 o'clock tonight. We have the repeat of Channel 7 News today at 12 o'clock. And then also the hot news at 6. And what time is the Prime Minister conference?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Checky.
The Prime Minister will pick up that feed, and I believe it will be on East Radio as well, right?
That's right.
All right, so you can tune in, folks. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Raheem, thanks once again. And folks, enjoy the rain over the weekend. If the good Lord so will, we'll be back on Monday right here. Another time it's here on Channel 10.
Sugar City Morning Show.